Okay, so I just wanted to kind of show what's possible with dynamic Lua. I didn't actually directly integrate the settings to actually do anything really. It's more about the just the UI, and I was trying to see if it was possible to sort of copy what Bethesda had done with Skyrim and Fallout for the creation kit, and copy how their AI has different settings and copy those exactly and kind of merge it with what Game Guru has. And so this is basically just a concept. So basically, in the Bethesda games, they all start with an ID, which is very similar to the entity ID, kind of the name as well. It's basically the internal name of the character, so you can link them to different quests, events, so you know that character is unique from another character with the same name. And the name below here, where it says Bobby, that's the string. So if you were to have dialogue, you can have his name actually visible there. It says Bobby, and then below it says whatever he's saying. Or you can have other characters or other events and things reference him. Next is health, which is pretty, you know what that is. Speed, how fast he is. And energy is basically like the stamina, like how fast will he have the ability to run after you before it turns into a walk. And experience is how much experience points you get. So maybe if your game has like a leveling up system, that would be cool. You can have experience. So when you kill him, you can gain how much you give. What type of character type he is, which is human, robot, animal, monster, whatever you want. Because in the Bethesda games, they have different races, which is also includes animals. So those different classes have different attributes and also have different materials assigned to them. So perhaps in this we can have a human who sheds blood, but if he was a robot, maybe it'd be sparks. That also means if you were attacking him melee, maybe he'd be stronger if he was a robot, a bit weaker if he was a human. Things like that. Maybe even particle effects, so if he was like a bird instead of animal there, maybe the feathers would appear. Things like that. That's just what happens in the Bethesda game, so I'm just kind of copying those. Next, so the ability to allow dialogue. In the creation kit, for example, all the quests are handled within the dialogue. So if you have the voice type is just like what audio voices to load for those dialogues. So if it was male or female, even if they were reading the same lines, it would load different audio but display the same text. If that makes any sense. For dialogue, this would be like the actual script of what the dialogue is, and the player's progression throughout that dialogue. It's kind of like an extended script. And if the player can drop its weapon or not, or the enemy rather, and of course the Game Guru, you can do that. So that's there, and the ammo amount that's taken, I noticed that's already in max, so that's cool. Then we have alignment, which means for some games you want maybe a karma system like Fallout has, where you could be a good guy or a bad guy, or you can kill someone, but maybe that person was actually a good person and you were just disturbing them, so your karma might go down. Or maybe you have a game where you have police in it, and so you gotta make sure that you're not killing people you shouldn't be and only killing the bad guys. So that's what good, neutral, and evil is. Aggression is something that I really like that in the Bethesda games, which is you can actually set within the editors, if you're modding, how aggressive the characters are. So do they start off unaggressive, where you have to actually attack them a few times before they start attacking you, or do something to piss them off. Now if they're frenzied, they will attack just everybody. right away if you're within a certain radius. So that's what that means. Now, confidence is basically how long and aggressive the character will attack the player. And so if he was cowardly, he won't attack the player at all probably. So maybe he'll run up and hit you once, and then he'll just go run and cower away behind a rock. Cautious, I guess that means they kind of move in slow, you know. And average. Brave, it'll just continuously attack you, but maybe when its health is at 10%, it'll run away. And foolhardy just means he'll just continually attack and never give up and always hunt you down. Combat style is more like the sort of the AI package you would be using to define how that character would be navigating paths and things like that. In Game Guru Max, I don't think we have to worry about that sort of thing. I think everything's taken care of. Assistance means, so if the character's within a certain faction, actually I skipped that by the way, up here is faction. Right now I have player, neutral, and enemy, but really you can have things like, maybe there's a farmer faction where all the farmers are in a single faction, or the whole town. So if you attack one person in that town, all the characters will come after you from within that town if they have this setting set, which would be help allies. So you can have interesting things like that happen. You know, maybe if you attack someone's chicken, the farmer comes after you. That could be really funny. So again, within the creation kit, there's a warn radius, which means kind of like at what point does this character get alerted to your presence. In-game Guru Max and Classic, it's basically the view range. But also, the attack radius would be like a smaller distance, which would determine at what point does that character start attacking you. And next, just a few checkboxes, which is like immobile, doesn't move, or does he walk? Can he run? Can he crouch? Swim? Can he conduct combat in the water? Maybe it's a different type of creature. Maybe it's I don't know, maybe a shark. Maybe so then you want to take off walk and crouches and just leave swim in combat. Can the character drown or not? Does it avoid roads? Can it open doors? You know, maybe they can interact with switches and stuff. This whole list is from the creation kit. So how Fallout and Skyrim work, these are all the drop downs within that. So I think it's very possible we could add all these to Game Guru Max as well. So the ability to pickpocket is a very specific type of feature for a game. So of course that's also possible if you want that in your game, if you know some scripting. But yeah, and then regain health allows the character to regain its health over time, regain it similar to how the player can. And ragdoll, if you kill it, will he ragdoll? Explode, that's also in Game Guru Max. And invulnerable, maybe its health doesn't matter, he can live forever. So that's basically a concept, taking the template from the Bethesda games and seeing how that looks within this editor. And maybe we could make the AI operate using some of these. I certainly would like something like that, but I think Game Guru Max is going in a pretty good direction, and we won't have to do something like that. Maybe all these sorts of things can start appearing in the behaviors as they are. Anywho, I just wanted to share what I was doing. I was bored today. Alright, take care.